Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. This is Pastor Dow. It's no secret I'm a pastor, and of course, as a shepherd, I have a flock that I have to attend, and there are people who actually truthfully follow me, listen to me, whether they be here or scattered abroad, whether it be throughout the United States or the world, as a matter of fact. But there are a lot of people who value not only my word, but my opinion in a lot of things. And so it's my job to inform the people, to those who have the ears to hear, and give them wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, especially for the times that we're living in. With all that said, I'm just going to lay it down to you what the powers that be have planned. They have it planned to make everybody in America so poor, like I said a few videos ago, so poor that you will willingly go to the soup line, you will willingly go to the FEMA camps, you will voluntarily go to the government for aid and assistance. Now, I don't believe that people should be dependent upon government, neither do I believe that people should trust in it, because I can't find, after all my years of research and just living here on this earth, and I can't find anywhere that they actually have ever been square with the people, where they have actually ever been truthful, much less respectful of the people in itself. I mean, it's amazing. It's like that they have an utter disdain and they utterly despise the American people, while at the same time cheesing and smiling, getting up in front of these cameras, politically grandstanding and stage playing, trying to make you people believe that they are God themselves, and that they have all the solutions, when they're doing nothing but destroying us the whole entire time. So I teach preservation. And I think that people need to get wisdom about this, of what's really truly going on. You know, Pastor Dow just didn't wake up to all the events and everything that is going on today. Most people are just waking up. Some of you just woke up 5 years ago. Some of you just woke up a year ago or 2 years ago. Well, Pastor Dow has been awake for almost 20 years. And I've been living on my little homestead for 15 of them. And so I just haven't been talking this way just since I've been on YouTube. I've been trying to tell people what they need to be doing for a long time. Now, hey, do people actually take heed to it? No. Most people are actually pretty foolish, but there are a lot of people who are intelligent people, who are thinking people, who are informed people. And don't let me say that I'm saying that people are not intelligent because they don't do what I say. What I'm saying is that you should have the ability to be able to look out and see what's taking place, and not ignore the facts and the real true issues of what's taking place right now. Because if you do, you're going to do it to your own apparel, because mentally, whether you assent to it or not, the decline is happening right before our very eyes. The erosion is happening right before our very eyes. And you can choose to ignore what's taking place all you want, but I think the wise thing to do is to start preserving yourself. I'm starting to get people who are contacting me, asking me about community and homesteading. How do you go about it? What to expect? What do you do? And rightfully so. I mean, after all, I don't only have words, but I have the experience. I've been teaching and preaching the message of come out of her for a very long time. And not only have I been preaching it and teaching it, but I've been living it. You see, a lot of people, they have it in their mind what we need to do, but to bring action to what they need to do is another story. So real true faith is equated in right action, not mental assent. Not because you can hear something and you agree with it, but it's equated in right action. That means you becoming a doer and not a hearer only. And you know, it's very painful to grow spiritually, because you know, you want to believe that you have all your volition, and that you you have intelligence, that you can be able to see the forest for the trees. But the reality comes, if they actually are planting a forest and they're putting a picture in front of you, and then they only give you that to look at and stuff, hey, what are you going to do? You're ultimately going to believe the illusion that is set before your very eyes. So their plan is to make America poor. I mean, look, think about it. 1%, I'm talking about upper millionaires, billionaires, have made an extraordinary amount of money during this economic depression slash collapse. Our stewardship has been given to us, but everybody else, we have saw our wealth erode. I mean, literally erode. I'm talking about well over 90% of Americans. You can't go to the bank. You can't go to any paper and invest and think that you're going to make a living. If you worked all your life, you saved a lot of Federal Reserve notes, funds, whatever you want to call what you call money. I believe sound money is same thing has always been for 6,000 years, silver and gold. That's my personal belief. I just didn't wake up one morning and come to that belief. I was raised in America where I believed that greenbacks was money, but I had to change my thinking. I had a paradigm shift. Yes, I did too. I had to actually do something that a lot of people are not willing to do today. That's independent research. I had to go and start checking behind people and not just accepting people's words at face value. Not only did I do that on the economic front, but I definitely done that on the spiritual front. Yes, I have. Religious front, I definitely done that. And I found out there's just as much as hoaxers and shysters and deceivers, people who practice collusion, and the people who are motivated by mammon, just like the people in the so-called financial sector. Don't you expect to get the truth from these so-called mainstream news medias and business sources, because they're not going to tell you that. Their job is to keep this afloat for a long time. So we're watching the proverbial frog in the bucket. We're watching this thing slowly but surely heat up, and we're watching a frog die. And that's the same thing that's happening to the American people. What's happening is that our will and our ability to resist is being taken away because we're functioning with eyes that we see. We're being inundated by so much negative press and negative media, and it puts forth there's no hope. And so we become, here go my D's, the dumb, the dormant, the docile, and the demoralized people. That's what we are. We become dumb, dormant, docile, and demoralized in the process, all, again, to lead us to serfdom, so that you only submit to what they have to say, because your ability to resist has been taken away from you. Now they're after the guns, the last staple of freedom of any man or woman to exist here on this earth. Hey, like I said before, you can choose to live standing up, or you can be a servant on your knees. You pick and choose that. You make the mental decision. People do it all the time. But whatever which way you choose to live, I hope you've made the right decision. Here it is again. I think that you ought to do whatever you can. Number one, to get out of debt. Get out of the debt. I think you should make moves right now, not few years down the road. When I say make moves, I'm talking about start moving, making the steps, and start making steps right now to find a piece of land somewhere. It may take you 2 or 3 years to get there, but at least start moving in that general direction, because the way things are going, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube, yes sir and yes ma'am, you're not going to continue to keep functioning on these people. Do you see that these people are not giving no jubilee whatsoever at all to people who are in debt, whether you own a house, car, or whatever? They don't care. There's people who have been paying on their homes for 22 years, only have 8 years left to go on the mortgage, and the banks threw them out on the streets. I can't find my video. I had it on my cell phone, don't know where it went. I was in New Orleans a month or two ago, and I actually took my camera out and I actually drove through the places where people have in America has been literally put out on the streets, and they're living under bridges, literally living under bridges. I don't know what happened to that video, but the next time I go down there, I'm gonna make another video and show you. Just like I have a video of Fresno, California. So from California to New Orleans and stuff, I'm sitting and watching all the people in our country suffer at the hands of the bankers. Now watch this. You know, if we're going to be able to judge the character of a country by how it's treated its poor, by how they treat its poor, then we need to ask ourselves, what kind of country are we here in America? We just got finished sending another $70 billion in aid to that Israeli state over there. Can you believe that? California is begging for $10 billion just to keep that bankrupt state afloat. In Michigan, Virginia, Pennsylvania and stuff, they just got finished. The cops are telling people you better go buy a gun. You know why? Because they have just got finished cutting the police and the fire department to minimum wage. Now, you ask yourself, and I've asked myself these questions a long, long time ago. I got in a quiet place. I sat down and I thought, can I trust a neighbor that I don't know? And when it ultimately comes down to it, survival. Will that man be benevolent? Will my neighbor be benevolent? If I don't have a lick of trust in my neighbors, then I better do something to preserve and protect myself from what could happen. That's what the government does with us, right? You ever notice that whenever the government comes knocking at your door, they want total disclosure of all your whole entire private life. And then when you don't want to disclose it, when you refuse to disclose, you know what they say? Well, you got to hide. Well, how about I want to be personal and private? Then you go and ask the government, what you doing? What you doing? Oh, national security. None of your business. You shouldn't be asking questions like that. Matter of fact, we're not going to tell you nothing. Remarkable, isn't it? Huh? Look at Obama. He promised transparency. He promised that we was going to get in here, we're going to have dialogue, and we're just going to put everything out on the table. Campaign lies. And what has he done ever since? He has done nothing but batten down the hatches ever since. Again, there's no difference between Obama and Bush but skin color. And that's it. That's it. So Democrats and Republicans, just like Jesse Ventura said, is the honest to God smack down truth. And that's the truth. And that's the truth straight way. Change. Do what I ask you and see what happens. Preserve yourself. Don't depend on the system. Start making moves. Go buy a piece of land. Get it paid for. And start buying building materials. Move it out there on that land. If you can't do that, just buy a little small camping trailer or something. At least it'll be yours. At least you don't have to go out here in this indentured servitude and slave wage and slave labor for 20 and 30 years for something that still ain't yours. Because when you get older and you get sick, when your insurance counsels, your medical insurance counsel, and they will counsel you, they're going to go after your assets. And your assets to them is the home. And they're going to go after your home because we live in a system where the food is chemically induced. They're GMO, genetically modified. It's not there for your health or your best interest in life. And they know that. So they got this thing all figured out in every stage of life, your decline and your destruction. What you need to do is you need to wake up. You need to really, truly wake up. If I am lying, if I'm painting a picture that is false, please make a video and tell me where I'm in error so that I may consider what you're saying and then at least tell the people another point of view.